a lot of damage using that Ranger's focus to keep everyone at arm's length. We're going to jump back into picks and bans though for game 2, as we have got LNG back on the blue, Top Esports on the red, Silas, Ziggs and Thresh all banned away again, with Top Esports now hovering over their last one. They're going to go with the Gwen. They feel like Ale on this pick was too much of an issue.
And maybe you do, yeah, I was going to say the Viego just coming through straight off the bat. I like this from LNG, just taking that one away from Knight. It is such a strong pick right now, and especially with things like the Ziggs, Gwen, Varus even taken off the board. It's kind of the big prominent pick at the moment.
One of the big ones, but also another one of those big ones was the Lee Sin, and it looks like it's going to be a straight up swap here in terms of power picks here between LNG and Top Esports, as Top Esports will look to try and get that one going for themselves. Can't give that one to Knight, can go to Karsa as well. Maybe Trixie has it in his wheelhouse as well, but no, they're going to go with the Jace instead and try and just lock out that top side.
So we're still going to get the same kind of plan here with the Lee Sin locked in. Could still go towards the solo laner if Knight wants to take the Jace, but it does feel like it's kind of going towards Karsa. And LNG, they're just running it back, right? I mean, hey, look, this worked super well last time. The Lee Sin not going to do too much to try and like dissuade this Zac from doing the things that he does, so instead they're going to try and go for the same plan. Now, I'm curious to see if Top Esports look towards things that can actually combat this engage from Zac. Alistair is a good pick against it from the support role. You can try and interrupt this, at least deny that away from my 1D as well, and especially with the Thresh taken off the board, that seems like the next big tool for dealing with a lot of these engages from Tarzan.
I will say though, with LNG banning away the Thresh and Top Esports not having an AD carry picked just yet, I wouldn't be surprised to see them lock this one in. Make sure Jackie Love has something that can deal with this Ashe, because in the early stages of the game, Ashe can be very oppressive, especially when you have so many support options available to the side of LNG. We are going a little bit over the timer there as we wait to see now if that lock did come in, but it looks like the teams are still continuing on with their picks and bans in the last seconds, or last few seconds or so.
I think the big thing here for Top Esports is that they have the opportunity to go towards a kind of a poke style if they want to. Like, you got the Jace, you got this Ezreal locked in here as well, but you could go towards the Zoe. The big issue that I see with the Zoe is that you already have a ton of engage on LNG and very long range as well. So if you end up operating in this kind of style where you're trying to keep LNG at bay, Enchanted Crystal Arrows, Zac is going to make sure that you never really get the opportunity to play your style. So I think for Top Esports right now, the big pick here is to start solidifying a solid front line that can bear the brunt of Enchanted Crystal Arrows and these kind of things. So if I'm LNG, I am banning away Alistair, because this is something that can stand in front line, absorb a ton of the CC, Unbreakable Will, get himself back out. And I'd also be looking towards things potentially like a Leona or any of these things that can kind of stop any sort of engage coming through, or at least taking up that engage. But LNG are going to ban away the Diana. Not convinced that this isn't going to be a mid lane Lee Sin. And also maybe another AP jungler if they're fully convinced that this is going to be a solo lane Lee Sin.
Wait for that last pick or a slash ban to come in. The Rumble was okay from Karsa in the last game, but like I said, a lot of nerfs into that champion made his equalizers very much not as effective, and they're going to go with the Gragas this time as well. So again, they're recognizing one of the OG picks from Karsa, know something that he can't bring out at any time, any place, and they're saying, look, you can play the Rumble all you like, we know it's not that good of a pick.
So I'm in two halves about this Braum pick. Braum can do relatively well when it comes to disengage, right? You get the big ultimate that can actually shut that play down. But the problem is you've got so much here on LNG's side that it's going to be a little bit more difficult. The Alistair, at least you've got like the Pulverize and the Headbutt in a 1-2 combo. But with the Braum, you only get that big ultimate and a few slows that LNG can pretty much bypass. So I think Joe will definitely have his work cut out for him. If he can try and tank up a few of these Enchanted Crystal Arrows and still get the disengage from Tarzan, it could work out, but it is going to be tough. On LNG side, the Rakan, perfect, more engage, follow up on Tarzan, follow up on that Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and especially against an Ezreal, the quickness works incredibly well. Curious to see what that last pick for LNG is, but right now, I love this heavy engage, long range engage that LNG have opted for here.
Yeah, they've opted in to go with the Rise to complement that. So again, similar enough composition to what they had in game 1. They are looking to just try and keep Icon and Light this time around on the backside, or maybe it's going to be Ale on the rise. We'll see how that one all kind of fans out towards the end of this pick bans. But the Rakan, very, very strong as well into the Braum in general. Braum great at stopping very big engaged tanks, but when you can jump in, jump out, keep the concussive blows going. But the Sejuani now locked in does mean that we are going to see Karsa back on the board. Actually, it could be a top lane. We'll see what it all ends up.
I imagine it will be the jungle Sejuani, the solo lane Lee Sin. It's something that can do okay against the Rise. You do get shoved in early, but when you get access to that level 3, you can quickly close the gap, and you become especially vulnerable as Icon at that level 6. So at least when I look at this now for top esports, early pressure towards that top half of the map, the early skirmishing, incredibly strong. And especially if you can bring Zhuo into that equation as well, you've got so much CC that can be procced so easily by these melee champions as well, that it becomes very hard for someone like a Viego to operate in those scenarios. So we'll have to keep our eyes to see if top esports can find these early skirmishes, or if we end up in this situation where we get these more dragon focus coming through from Tarzan, and then we get the same prominent team fighting coming through from LNG.
We'll say with JackeyLove on the Ezreal is going to be a little bit easier for him to get out of the bounce house. Not as set in his ways without his summoners. Of course, has the arcane shift, so try and get away from all of these different engage tools from LNG. And for top esports, this is a big test for you right now. You need to come out absolutely swinging. You need to take this win, otherwise you fall to 7-6. You are now jumping yourself into the pack of LGD, JDG, top esports, OMG, these teams who are not 100% guaranteed playoffs, and you're running out of time.
This is such a crucial game, and everything is going to hinge on if you can get both Knight and 369 in this right spot. JackeyLove will get there, right? We've seen him go 0-3 in this champion. He'll still be able to deal a whole heap of damage, and he will eventually be able to take over these team fights. But you do need to make sure that the front line for top esports is in a good spot, because if you end up falling behind here as Karsa, as Zhuo, you end up in a spot where you just cannot deal with all the reigning CC that LNG are going to bring to the table.
Not only that, but you're looking at top esports composition, and they are very heavily relying on that AD, pretty much negligible AP damage coming out from upside, a little bit from JackeyLove, a tiny bit from Karsa. Not really what you want to be doing. And if you fall behind, if Zach can get ahead and just build armor and health, that's very efficient for the side of LNG. And now LNG find himself in a great position here, 1-0 up in the series, seeing if they can finish this one off nice and easy, 2-0. But top esports still one of our top teams. We always mention this every single time we talk about them. They are a team that have such massive power. They just need to bring it together and make it work.
And I'd like for any of you investors that are in the audience to start looking at Anathema's change stacks right now, because those stocks are about to go through the roof. Because Tarzan, I wouldn't be surprised to see that very quickly come through as a first item. When you're just saying, hey, look, the main damage dealer on this team is going to be JackeyLove. Phenomenal. There's Anathema's chains coming through from Tarzan. We get onto him, CC for days. We don't, I'm not taking any damage. Especially as we talked about, if you can put some pressure with Ale towards 369 in this top lane, then that's the secondary damage dealer gone. You build a ton of armor alongside that, you're golden here as Tarzan. It definitely feels like the tank option here for LNG is going to be playing wonders in this game.
For top esports, they need to get ahead. As you said, if they get put behind, if they are finding themselves at a deficit at the 15-20 minute mark, they just really run out of options. They are waiting on mistakes. They are not relying on their own innate abilities to team fight. And even looking at their team fight, it's not exceptional. They have a lot of pick opportunities. They've got the Glacial Fissure to separate people, but straight up 5v5, I still favor LNG.
Yeah, a lot of their composition is going to be built around counter engage, right? Trying to set up for Zhuo, get this Glacial Fissure down, buy space. Same when you look towards Karsa, being able to interrupt Tarzan with that engage. If you get the Q forward, you can knock Tarzan out of his own slingshot. So a lot of this is going to be, and even Knight with the Dragon's Rage, right? Buy space for JackeyLove and 369, then start to work your way through them. But the big issue that I do see is the secondary follow-up. There's only so many tools that you can use before you end up with Icon getting these plays light. Also, hang on.
Oh, Icon in a lot of trouble. The Arctic Assault and the Miss Flash means that Icon will fall to first blood. Karsa just straight up punishing an overextension.
Yeah, I mean, trying to punish Knight underneath the turret, but not respecting that Karsa can just come across. And now, Karsa will get that first scuttle on the top side, but Knight off to a wonderful start. And with Flash burnt, the level 6 becomes even more deadly for Icon here. I wouldn't be surprised to see rinse and repeats here, but bot side, potential TP from Icon.
Potential TP from Icon or Ale. They jump in. Jackie Love in a little bit of trouble. Gets knocked up, knocked back with the Unbreakable is enough to keep him alive. He will tick down, but not enough to take away his life. Now, with a TP committed, that is Knight from the base. Going to be able to jump in on top of Light. They've got the repeat on that, but Knight picks up his second kill of the game. And that's 2-0 to nothing. 3-0 to nothing now for Top Esports. There's now more TPs, more kills.
No.
Oh, it's all gone horribly, horribly wrong. 4 kills, 5 kills for Top Esports, and LNG are 2,000 gold down at 4 minutes.
And it's an absolute disaster. Icon collects the wave, doesn't TP initially, so the fight's already lost before he gets to the play. Ale then decides he needs to go and join in the fiesta, but the party's over. Top Esports have already won. They've cracked open the piñata and it's full of gold from LNG. You'll see it here. Look at where Icon is. He stays for the wave, which is fine, but just don't commit the TP after. You can already see that this game is over. Like, this is just done in this bot lane. Great play there from Knight to actually secure the kill, but this is, like, there's nothing left here. Just back it off. And certainly don't commit Ale's TP on top of it.
Yeah, they tried to put the TP onto the Zac Bloblet to try and keep him up and alive, but just a little bit too little, too late. Now a 2,500 gold lead. 3-0-2 onto this Lee Sin. We said that Top Esports needed to get ahead. They are ahead, and they are looking to try and maybe continue this one here as they now jump in on top of this. Karsa is behind you. It's a pantomime in the bot side as they can maybe look to take down Iwandi. They don't land the Winter's Bite with the Rangers focus putting down onto Jackie Love. Jackie Love needs to be a little bit careful. Has no flash. And is very, very low. Light will still do damage, so Top Esports not able to make that one stick, but still, good moves here from Top Esports.
Nice job from Light as well to realize, look, everything on the kitchen sink was thrown in that initial burst, so I can follow up on this. Now Tarzan trying to see if he can match Karsa, who's looking for another mid lane gank.
Yeah, he's looking for it, but he gets himself the hell out of dodge. Tarzan realizing, we can't take this fight right now. You have a tier, I have Ionian Boots of Lucidity. We don't really have the damage to take on an Iron Spike Whip Lee Sin, especially early on in this game, but very, very good start here for Top Esports. LNG needs to just calm it down, bring everything back, get yourself back into some kind of control, because you still have priority in this bot side. You just need to try and continue it towards the mid and top.
You have to be so careful as LNG if you commit to the bot side now, though. Because Knight and Karsa can, straight off bat, like, kill Icon. He still has no flash. You get that quick Dragon's Rage in behind. You get the kill, and then you can actually move top side, which is about as bad to say. And they're already setting up these plays, right? Getting control in this top side jungle. You look for the dive on Ale and set the one lane from LNG that's actually hasn't been affected too much by all these kerfuffles and set it behind as well.
Ale, only about 10 or so CS. The wave in a difficult position for him right now. 369 with that serrated Dirk and Tyr able to keep him at arm's length. We'll have the accelerated shock blasts pretty much on cooldown, so not really worried about that one there. And you can see here, just putting down so much damage and harass. And it's very difficult for Ale to do much.
And you can see with Ale taking that big brunt of damage, LNG start to move up there, trying to see if they can counteract the dive, but it's Karsa still trying to make these plays mid. Draw here as well, Tarzan off on the wings.
Iwandi needs to be a little bit careful. Very difficult to make anything stick. As I say that, there's a Glacial Person right down into the kick. Knight will take that, thank you very much. He's now still has his 100% kill participation, and yeah, Icon just not prepared for what could have come.
It was the call that we always knew was going to happen, right? A Ryze here so vulnerable in the mid lane, especially against the mid jungle that Top Esports have. Tarzan now being booted out of his jungle. Ale can't even help because he's just trying to farm whatever waves he can after being put behind by 369. This is not the early game that LNG were hoping for, but it's a phenomenal skirmish-centric plays coming through from Top Esports that have netted them so much.
Has a gore drinker now on tonight at 8 minutes into the game. Even if you wanted to contest for a dragon or a Rift Herald, you just can't. It's just not in your capabilities right now, because this Lee Sin could probably 1v5 as things stand.
And the big issue now is what happens when you try to go for this all in as LNG, right? The thought process was you end up with so much engaged that you don't really have threats to get on towards light or worry about, you know, being able to carry these fights. With how big Knight is, if you try to go all in with LNG's composition, Knight gets access towards light, he can boot him and just kill him like one shot, no problem whatsoever. And then you're lacking a massive damage to it for LNG in these fights. So certainly causing major issues for the LNG ideas.
Jackie Love maybe thinking he can go for this. He flashes forward. He flashes away, but it's a Glacial Fissure. Zhou takes that kill away from Jackie Love. Puts the thumbs up. I think he knows he should have maybe given that one to Jackie Love, considering Jackie Love gave his flash.
Yeah, even the little grin on the face cams. But now Top Esports play bot. Cool, we got that advantage. No way that you can trade this now as LNG for Dragon, as Karsa starts up the Rift Herald. Full control of Top Esports, and this is the dominant style that we get to see from Top Esports when they have control. When these early skirmishes go their way, and LNG can't really contest them.
I'd say Knight is fuming though. No longer 100% kill participation. After all he did, it's not fair.
But it's true, right? Because Knight has been the big player for Top Esports for so long this split. Like, everything good on Top Esports seems to just stem from his plays. We got that early quick TP down towards the bottom side in this game. He sets them up beautifully. Last game, it was the Knight show. If Knight was able to carry those fights, Top Esports win. Unfortunately, wasn't able to do it in the last game. This time, though, he's massively far ahead, a lot earlier, and feels like he's got his carry pants firmly buckled this time around.
Going to be on LNG to be creative and try and avoid him, to be perfectly frank. They need to make sure that they're not just getting caught out like they did just there in the Dragon Pit by Iwandi. They still have a Rift Herald, of course. Karsa just took that objective, and honestly, right now, he could feel like he could put it anywhere. It could work pretty much in all lanes, except for maybe the bot lane. So giving it over to the Ezreal and the Braum, probably not your priority anyway. You want to try either keep this Lee Sin accelerating or get the Jace going as well. You look at the gold leads in the lanes, and it is about almost 2,000 alone in this mid lane. So half of that gold lead of 4,000 is belonging to Knight over Icon, and it's becoming very, very difficult here for the side of LNG in this early stages. Only 10.5 minutes in, and they're on the back foot.
And you're never going to get off it at the moment either, because Knight has this teleport available. Any play you make can have this Lee Sin show up. So as of right now, Top Esports have run of the map. They can now shove in this wave. Karsa's going to start up Dragon. They still have the Rift Herald if they want to try and set anything up as well. It means you've got nothing that you can kind of influence on the map right now as LNG. Your only hope is, as you can see, looking towards LA topside. Maybe as Icon is kind of fighting back and forth against Knight is fighting back and forth against Icon, you can make these plays top, but it's still a bit of a way away.
Well, 369 now. Tentative to push up this wave. Recognizes that if his jungler is bot, then enemy jungler is probably top. He gets the knockback, flashes away, but brought right back in. They flash forward. Let's bounce. Heartbreaker. 369. Sadly cannot escape, and Tarzan gets something back for LNG.
And Icon's got a dip. The second you see that play top, you know members of Top Esports are coming in, get spotted by the Hawk shot. And even though Icon knows this is happening, there's nothing he can do.
Yeah, he has to play respectfully as here's Light and Iwandi roaming up. They actually might be able to go for something. Ooh, the Winter's Bite does not land, and Iwandi should be able to keep himself safe and sound. Rift Herald will get its charge off, so you're giving that gold nicely over to to Knight, as Tarzan does get the knockback, and TP gonna have to be committed here by 369. So LNG, I feel like, did everything they could do while also finding an advantage in top.
Yeah, I mean, that turret was always going to take a beating the second the Rift Herald was picked up, so at least they get a kill and still manage to defend, and don't really have to invest overly much into it. Now, Tarzan trying to see if he can at least protect Icon so we can clear these waves, but once this mid lane turret goes down, there's just going to be a plethora of wards placed by Top Esports in this bot side jungle, especially when you look towards Light and Iwandi. Light is so vulnerable underneath these turrets. Zhou can tank for days, set up with the Glacial Fissure. It becomes really hard to hold on towards this bot side when the mid lane turret goes down.
Well, when it goes down is the question now, or as the last game was, if it goes down, as last time around. Top Esports did struggle to take down that particular structure. They got themselves a 4,500 gold lead as they now move towards Ale in this top side. He knows what's up. He knows what's going on, so he is out of there. They may just take out this top tier 1 because Ale is by himself and cannot contest.
but it's still 13 minutes. Like, you're still getting all these turret plates every time Top Esports are making these plays. And that's why we're getting this ballooning gold lead, where you're looking at a 4,000, 5,000 gold lead already in favor of Top Esports. And we're only 13 minutes in. We're not looking towards, like, major team fight victories, apart from that early skirmish and bot side, that are going the way of Top Esports.
Top Esports just constantly pushing in and making sure that they are the ones making the plays. They are getting the gold, they are getting the items. Now you can see pretty much first mythics across the board for all of their carries, still waiting for a first one to be picked up by anybody on LNG. There's a tough matchup here for LNG. They will have to probably concede the next few objectives. Can't really go for Dragon, can't really go for the next Rift Herald, can't even go for your own Raptors. As I say that, they may try and jump onto Knight. Knight does have the support of his support, as the between the sticks goes the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. They were looking for an opportunistic kill, but sadly, it was not on the mark.
All they need to do is just keep this pressure up on Tarzan. As long as they're like stealing away camps, they're just putting them slightly further behind. You can see that CS difference is opening up in the jungle. And again, we're contesting here as Knight shoves in mid, starts to roam. You're just going to break LNG eventually. At some point, they will make a mistake. At some point, they'll take that step too far, and Top Esports will be there to pounce.
Yeah, they will be. We are going to jump in. It's going to be Knight. Not getting the steal, though, and there's the quickness to try and bring everybody in. Now let's kiss and get them all together, but Icon wasn't there, neither was Light, so there's no real follow-up. Your two tanks went in, but there's no damage.
Especially, as you said, Light not there, and that was the mistake that we talked about. Now, you get the opportunity to put pressure on towards this bottom side. Look towards the getting vision control in this bot side jungle for Dragons. It makes it so hard for LNG to continue forward, and Top Esports just know how to play when they have advantages like this.
Yep, they know how to play when ahead, and LNG are a team that definitely struggle when behind. Hitting up the 15-minute mark, they are about 6,500 gold ahead. Jackie Love free pushing in this bot side is able to mitigate a lot of the advantage that Light garnered for himself, because Light had to play respectfully. The entire of Top Esports had pressure and presence in his bot side jungle, so he cannot contest the waves.
Okay.
He's fine, he's fine.
Yeah, I think we got to start looking at, like, all right, how do we actually get back into this game if you're looking at LNG? Because obviously mid lane turret's about to go down. You're about to get a ton of pressure over towards this Dragon. You have got to, like, hard commit now towards this top turret. Just try and force something where you can actually get some gold back and trade it as that Dragon is going to go across. If you end up in a situation where, like, you can see very overextended this bot side, you give the opportunity for Top Esports to pick you off and get more gold alongside the objectives. We're just getting a quick replay here of what I thought was a really bad decision from LNG. Like, you just don't have the damage. Icon 0-3. He's got nothing in the tank. You were never going to win that, so strange engage. But I still think LNG, look, as dire straits as they are in, if they can start to make picks on towards 369, start to get turrets in their favor, try and play through Ale, maybe they have a chance of Ale stepping up on this Viego to carry. Otherwise, they just run the risk of slowly bleeding out.
Again, they're just kind of conceding so much on this map. They are waiting, as you said, looking for that top lane tier 1, so exactly what you talked about there, Dagda, but losing tier 2 in the bot side. Icon has his Everfrost, but what's he gonna do? Like, it's Knight with a Black Cleaver and a Gore Drinker. It's just, there's nothing he can do.
Jackie Love just stopped the recall from Tarzan as well. He used that ultimate to catch him just as he was resetting, and now you've got this big push in mid.
You got a big push and a big engage. Glacial Prison into the Glacial Fissure means that Iwandi is dead and buried. 0-4-0 on the Rakan, and Shelly's still going. Shelly's still strong, and Shelly shall crack open the base for Top Esports.
And now you just fall back to Dragon. You've shut down all the plays from LNG. You've managed to get 2 turrets in that mid lane. Possible third here bot as Tarzan trying to see what he can do.
He's going to go for something. They will flash forward, or excuse me, Arcane Shift forward from Jackie Love to try and see if he can get something there. But again, very, very difficult to get anything to stick for the side of LNG. They're just too far behind. They're losing gold, they're losing objectives, they're losing everything around the map, and they're 9,000 gold in the hole.
And it's getting to be a bigger and bigger hole as well, right? Every time they look up, it seems like the sky is just that bit further away, and one foot in the grave already for LNG. It seems difficult for them to try and pull this one back, especially as we start to look towards the ability to control map states. Well, you've got a massive Lee Sin who's now going to push bot side, can 1v1 Icon without an issue as soon as he lands the Sonic Wave. Top side of the map, Ale isn't really in a position now where he can take over. He's only just finished his Divine Sunder, whereas you've already got 2 items there for 369. And with Barons up, Soul Point an opportunity here as well for top esports in the next 10 minutes, it just makes it so difficult for LNG to deal with much.
Yeah, they have to concede again. Another tier 2 in the spot side. Iwandi is around, but not really much he can do about this one here. Still only dealing with an Everfrost. The flash kick going in. They even get the Glacial Prison out to stop Iwandi from engaging. The arrow comes in to try and delay anyone from going back under the tower. But they get another kill, and this is what an 8,000, 9,000 gold lead will give you, Dagda. This is the extra mistakes you can make.
And you can see as well, like, top side 369 backing off the turret as we get the engage.
We get the engage, they get knocked back. There's the Glacial Fissure used to try and disengage. There's some low health bars here, but a TP on the backside. 369 is going to join this one and make this one a hell of a lot worse for the side of LNG. To the skies and back down to hell. 369 gets 2. They will take out 1 kill. There's 2 maybe coming in now for the Heartbreaker. And he's going to get a Braum. I don't know if that's the one you really want right now. He's going to go in for maybe a 3rd. Can get it. Will not get the reset just yet. There it is. Triple kill here for Ale. Not quite able to get any more, but damn was it close.
You can see him on that camera as well. He felt it. He thought that was his moment. And this is why we're talking about LNG maybe being able to play through Ale. But there's just not quite enough. He's so strong in this Viego, but unable to finish off everyone on top esports. And you can see a very messy fight. A lot of back and forth. Ale just getting this TP in. And I think here, Joao and Jackie just needed to back off. Like, there was no need to try and stick around for this as long as they did. And it did give the opportunity, at least for Ale, to get some kills back in his favor. Now, they do get to finish these off with the TP coming through from 369. But Ale, with this many low health bars, like, he's having an absolute field day. And off the back of it, just finished off the hysterics as well. Like, he's going to become even more of an issue now to try and deal with in these fights.
Yeah, Ale trying his very, very best. You can see here, he almost gets it done. He's able to get this reset off. And it's actually the knockback is what basically makes this fight worth for top esports. 369 getting him away from that reset. And now, yes, you have 3 items on 369. You have 2.5 on all your other carries on the side of top esports. But longest one, oh, light. Oh, light. Oh, light. Not going to be light much more. He's going into the darkness of the grey screen. 0, 3, and 0. The kickback there on the Tarzan means he does not die. That's a little bit of a mistake there from Knight, but Knight knocks the light out of light.
And do you hope for a miracle play from Ale again? You've no AD carry on this play. Ale actually might get caught out beforehand.
No, he should be fine. He's in the encroaching mist, so able to keep himself safe. But like you said, the miracle play, Baron's going to be started. Top esports shouldn't have any worries.
Iwandi is here. I mean, this has to be on. Like, every bit of damage has to come through, and he's already spotted.
He's already been spotted. We've seen Knight now over the side of the wall, just throwing over a Q, lands on the Tarzan. Will not have the Dragon's Rage kick just yet. We can't see Tarzan ramping up, maybe seeing if he should go for this. He goes in. They're going to try and steal away the Baron. They jump straight out on the backside, but Iwandi is dead. Nothing they can do. So is Zach. And that was great tempered play from top esports. They just slow themselves down, make sure that they do not lose the Baron to any 50-50s. And now it's Ale versus the world.
And he's already pieced out. He's on a rocket ship. He's next to Jeff Bezos. He doesn't want to be part of this place anymore. He's running off as he's just going to reset here. 369 though might be able to stop the back.
Yeah, maybe looking for him. They're seeing if they can catch him out. They will, and now he's forcing a 2v1. Flashes over the wall though and tries to keep himself alive. Actually, it wasn't even his flash, just his dash over the wall. Now Ale trying to keep himself as far away as possible, but these accelerated shock blasts will find you and will catch you. There's the TP coming in from Knight. They want him dead.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to try everything here to try and stop him, but Jackie Love now, 1v3, going a bit too far forward, but Ale eventually will fall in the back line, as now, Jackie.
Oh, Jackie Love forced to flash away. They'll flash in on top of him with the grand entrance as well. Can they burst him down? That is the question. The answer is yes, but they lose Iwandi 0, 7, and 2. They also lose Light. They'll also lose their Rise. And guess what, Tarzan? I'm seeing a trend. You might be the next one to follow if they can land in on top of him. He will have the accelerated, or excuse me, the elastic slingshot, but it's not going to do much. This was a statement game from top esports. They should be able to end it now with the Baron buff. They've got 23 kills in 23 minutes. Decimation.
Decimation that all started from that early mistake from LNG. Over-aggressing on the bottom lane with Knight able to TP down. 4 kills straight off the bat, and there's just nothing you can do. Knight is too far ahead at this stage. Icon is next to nothing. Your bot lane has fallen apart. And even though Ale tried his damnedest in some of these fights, there's just no way he can 1v5 just yet.
Just yet. I like how you down the caveat.
I know what season this is. I know. All right.
Yeah, I mean, like, even just taking away the gold or the item difference or anything like that, just look at the levels. Like, it is 3-level difference for Knight over Icon. It is a 3-level difference in jungle. It is a 2-level difference. Actually, just a level now for Jackie Love over Light. It's just not going to be good. Just base stats alone, you're going to lose this fight. And with LNG now firmly pressed back into their base, they know that they've got the inhibitors exposed, they've got mid lane taken down, and with Baron buff still going for another 30 seconds, Top Esports can take everything.
Yeah, I mean, for LNG, this one's over. It's been over since that initial play in the bottom side. It's one of those in scrims where you go, cool, can we just remake? There's not going to be much learned here from LNG. They're just going to get battered down as Top Esports go.
Well, there is Light getting engaged upon. All ultimates used, and the Ashe is dead and buried. Didn't even get a chance to use the enchanted Crystal Arrow. Again, you can still keep pushing. There's no real damage here from the side of LNG, and there's definitely none left now as the Rise is dead. They're going to try and put the bounce house in. They couldn't quite get Karsa onto the fountain. Now jumping onto Ale. They're just playing on the edge of all of this fighting, and it's just going to be so easy now for LNG to just take themselves the loss. Top Esports going to completely obliterate them. And Top Esports coming back and saying, Game 1 was an anomaly, Game 2 is where we're at.
We'll have to see, though, as we get ourselves towards game number 3. Top Esports will take the Nexus in dominant fashion.